Hello. Welcome to a very special video here for us at the Bassett Brothers, or Near and Dear to Your Dart, as we like to call our channel.
Get it?
Of course.
Near and dear to your heart, the old dart.
It works. Now, normally we would talk about things related to Korean culture, video games, Pokemon.
Which is a video game, but you know what?
Yeah,
much more.
It's so much more than just a game. Now, it's a lifestyle. But today we're talking about something very special. Very recently, I was selected along with 99 other folks, mostly Korean. I'm one of only 4 foreigners, I believe. Selected to take part in a operation that's being conducted by the Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs, formerly the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. They got split off again. They are having a conference here in October about cybersecurity.
Best month of the year.
October is a great month. Of course, that is your birth month. It's also when the Pokemon games come out.
Yes, that too.
And they're going to ask for it for your birthday.
Yes. So, James, what do you want for your 19th birthday? The new Pokemon game.
Seems legit. Of course, the conference is happening here in South Korea. It's happening on October. The opening ceremony, opening remarks and everything will happen on Wednesday evening. This would be the 16th of October. The actual conference itself is going to be over the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, the 17th and 18th respectively. But leading up to that, we are going to be posting a lot on Facebook, a lot on Twitter, about what the objectives of this conference are, where are they hoping to achieve, what kind of dialogues are they hoping to start, what's the purpose of it. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have actually set up a really decent resource for regular citizens to go and find out information about this kind of stuff. The only problem is disseminating it. The average American male doesn't think, oh, I'm going to Google the Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs, see what they have to say about cybercrime today. So that's where me and my colleagues come in. Our job is to try to disseminate this information, get it out there. Yeah. A lot of the stuff's going to be real simple, done just reposting links. Whenever they share a video or something like that, I can talk about it, post up there. You've probably already seen a couple on my Facebook. Just really simple things, mostly dealing with technology.
Yeah.
Because of my background, my biggest interests are in the international relations implications. So the top down, as it were, of the security issues, and of course the military aspect, the defense aspect of security. But of course this conference covers everything, nation building and cooperation on all sorts of different avenues, economic obviously. I'm going to post about all of them, but the one specifically that you'll actually be seeing a lot of commentary from me on Facebook and on Twitter is going to be on things dealing with either defense or international relations. Now, there are 6 major themes of this conference. The 6 major themes, I got them under there, so don't forget. First one is economic growth and development. Obviously, I've taken a lot of classes in economic growth and development. That's actually one of the majors you can get for my particular career field over at Korea University represent. Yeah. My brother's also Kodae. That's right.
Word.
So one of the majors you can get is about international cooperation. And so when you're talking about the internet and about cybersecurity, obviously there's a lot of things that go into development and economic portions. Something as simple as I own right now as we speak, I own maybe 7,000 won and maybe $20 to my name. Everything else is digital, ones and zeros. Everything's ones and zeros. So
yeah, I would say I have like $50 to my name and everything else 1 and zeros.
Everything's digital, and so that creates an issue on itself. But what about countries that obviously don't have the capacity to do that, don't have the infrastructure, don't have the ability to convert their currency, or banks to collect it, convert it for them? It's a big issue, and it's something that they'll hope to discuss. Another topic, of course, is going to be the social and cultural benefits that come from the internet and things like that. Obviously, people are going to want to use a lot of examples like the Arab Spring. I have my own. This is what happened in Egypt. I have my own opinion on the Arab Spring, and everyone who sat through class and was like, "Oh, that Jamin character, he's just so negative. Why is he so negative all the time? This is a great thing." Now they're kind of having to eat crow. Egypt's not turning out too great right now. So, but that's of no fault to the internet. that's more of the internal politics and the military structure there. But social networking sites had a big part in the protests there, had a big part in getting out information and letting people know what's going on. Even the media that was there wasn't able to cover everything, and you had a lot of people there on the street using social media to talk about the issue and raise awareness, and it was a really big deal. It was the first time we ever saw something like this. I mean,
it's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I mean, there's been lots of revolutions. Heck, the Iranian revolution happened in the 70s. It's obviously a huge deal. They're still feeling ramifications of that now. How different the world deals with these kind of revolutions in the light of social media, in the light of the internet and things like that. So this is going to be something they're going to talk about.
The internet.
The internet.
Those internet peoples, I tell you.
Yeah, most certainly. Of course, the third topic is going to be cybersecurity. This is more of my interests, where my hobbies, my interests, and my background kind of collide together. Obviously, cybersecurity is a huge issue, especially here in South Korea. South Korea is trying to develop its own cybersecurity battalions for militaristic purposes. North Korea's had them for a long time. In fact, they have, numbers-wise, one of the biggest in the world. Are they any good? It's hard to tell with stuff like that, but there's been a lot of attacks in South Korea through cyber attacks and threats. And very rarely is it military threats. Normally they attack civilian things, banks, newspapers, things like that, which kind of shows the changing face of what we consider fair game when it comes to war. Before we used to bomb factories. That's how you cut off supply lines.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do that. As long as you know how to do it, you just shut off their bank. Suddenly all those ones and zeros disappear. And then you have a huge issue on your hands. Could you imagine, just even if it only affected maybe, because there's a lot of banks in Korea, let's say it only affected one bank and only affected 11% of Korea. 11% of Korea goes from working, having money in the bank, to absolutely nothing in a blink of an eye. What kind of devastation that would cause to the economy, to people's trust in the government, trust in banks and infrastructure. It's a big issue.
Oh, heck yeah.
So that one...
If you think about it, almost everything is run through the internet.
Everything.
So that, for some reason, shut down even a small section, it would just devastate.
Yeah. I'm sure you've seen this stuff for Watch Dogs, the new game coming out from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And one of their promotional things for it is actually, I believe it's either an app or it's a website. I can't remember. You can go to, and it's a map of
Goku.
It's a map. I want to say it's a major European city, and it's just a giant grid showing you all the public service facilities that are run through the internet and through computers. Things like sewage and waste disposal and water and facilities and electricity
and everything else.
So like if you found some way to hack that, you could really ruin people's lives. And so that's a huge issue, and it's one that's not just militaristic. Like I said, they're not attacking the missile depot, they're not attacking Yonsei, they're attacking regular people, and that drastically increases the amount of targets. South Korea, including its militia, its volunteers and militias and everything else, it's only about 1.8 million soldiers, but they got over 50 million people. So when you talk about the target being the entire country can be vulnerable, it's pretty dangerous stuff. So we'll have a lot to talk about when we get to that eventually. Here, fourth, international security. Again, that's right up my alley.
Definitely.
Especially when, like I said, North Korea is considered one of the biggest cyber threats right now in this region. But when it comes to information technology, China's up there pretty high as well. They got a lot of, we like to call them cyber ninjas, but guys who've been been trained from a military standpoint. They are professionals at what they do. China's got quite a few of them. China's got a huge populace, and they're slowly starting to rely more on information technology. Japan and South Korea rely heavily on information technology.
Yeah.
So to them, these kind of rising threats are a big issue. Now, China is considered both a potential ally and a potential threat. So it creates a whole new issue. How do you deal with that? How do you share technology or software, or security software, with a country that is both a great ally and a great potential enemy. Same with Japan, of course, long-standing rivalry between South Korea and Japan forever. So there's a lot of issues to cover. The fourth is sorry, Chris, that was the fourth. The fifth is cybercrime.
What is that going on?
Yeah, a lot of these threats I've been talking about have been at the national level. I'm talking militaries. I'm talking professionals against either other professional targets or against civilian targets. This is more of civilian against civilian, or potentially civilian against government. Identity theft is a huge issue. Like I said, not just my ones and zeros for my money, but a lot of things are attached to the internet. Like social media sites like Facebook and Twitter and all that. I got a lot of personal information on there, and someone could really ruin my life, ruin my career by getting a hold of that information and using it against me. Especially in South Korea, I got a lot of important numbers to my name, whether it be my my foreigner ID number or things of that nature, my visa number, just things that can be used against me. And so it's very important to protect that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about some of the issues there. And finally, capacity building. This is it's a very deep concept, and it's something that we can talk a lot about. Not if South Korea is prepared for the threat, but say Thailand and the Philippines aren't. Well, Thailand and the Philippines are really big customers of South Korean products. So even if South Korea was fully prepared for the onslaught,
kind of, cyber attack or something.
Yeah. Even if they're fully prepared for a cyber attack, if their neighbors aren't, South Korea will still suffer because they rely on their neighbors economically. Yeah. And so capacity building is the idea of building up these other nations and these other peoples, not necessarily on the national level, it can also be on the individual level. Governments helping to equip, banks or private sector institutions. But again, there's a lot of controversy and a lot of caveats that come with that. How much information and how much technology do you want to give to, say, a potential competitor? Not just in that national level. Think even here internally. Imagine if Samsung comes up with really great software that would really help protect, LG or Hyundai, but just given to them for free. Samsung, costs them a lot of money to develop the software. It costs them a lot of engineers to keep it running, keep it going, updating it. Can they just really give it away? So there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of debates and things that we need to internalize and talk about. So those are the six major themes. How we're going to do this, they've actually posted up not only overviews of the topic on the website, but questions as well, things that they want to address in these forums. The website is seoulcyber2013.kr. Again, that's Seoul as in the city, cyber as in cyber, and 2013. You can just Google Seoul Cyber 2013, or neighbor it. You'll find it just fine. Easy. It's a great website. If you want particular resources, you want to go to click on the resource page, and they're going to have a download there for you. And there's three other things you can participate in. They have the conference schedule there. It's kind of invite only. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of dignitaries, stuff like that. Yeah. But one you can attend is actually the youth forum. I believe the signups are still available. This will happen at Yonsei. Yonsei, that's our rival school, but this cup I actually got from Yonsei. It was a thank you for participating in a forum with them on national security issues.
Okay, so they're eagles.
They're eagles and we're tigers.
We eat eagles. Wow.
Tigers eat eagles. No, not really.
No, we kind of we associate with cats and birds, and cats being the dominant.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so again, the Yonsei is sponsoring the youth forum. Actually, there was a contest for students and for scholars to write about these particular issues, and the winners will actually be able to read their essays and participate in the conference there. For everyone else, you can apply to attend. I highly recommend it. It'd be very educational, especially if you have any interest in this thing at all.
Even though everyone's going to watch this is going to be in the States.
Well, it's going to be on Facebook, so there'll be friends from school and things of that nature, colleagues, fellow scholars.
Jenna, Josiah, sign up too.
Yeah, Jenna, Josiah, come over here. Go to Yonsei.
Fly over here to Korea, just real quick.
Just take a minute. Another thing you participate in is they're actually having a slogan contest. They don't know what slogan or motto they want for this conference just yet, and there's still some time. Up until August 25th on the website, you can find information. You can apply for it. You can submit your own slogan, whether in Korean or in English.
Live long and prosper.
If we can think of a good idea, we'll try our own. But and the other thing you can participate in is, of course, spreading the word on the website and on their own official Twitter and their official Facebook page. Again, it's just Seoul Cyber 2013. You can find them pretty easy. I'd say just about every day, not every day, just about every day on their Twitter. They post some updated information. And it's not just things on the conference, it's things related to the cybersecurity and these issues.
Yeah.
There's some stuff on there like face recognition software that's developed here in South Korea. It's pretty neat stuff. And of course, the questions that arise with it, like we said before, the privacy issues, and things like that. But of course, this technology, if it is adopted, where some policy concerns, it's a lot of great resources, a lot of great debates that can be sparked up and can be talked about. And it's really what we have to do is talk about it. If we don't talk about it, then the only people talking about it are going to be people who are who aren't really affected by it. It's just going to be the higher level guys talking, and they have less to lose in these situations. It's individual people, the regular people that have a lot to gain and a lot to lose when it comes to cybercrime and cybersecurity and issues of that nature. It's important that you talk about it. It's important that you educate yourself on it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so that's kind of James's role here. Me, again, I think of things really top down, being in the military, being in graduate school, studying about this stuff. I tend to think of things very top down. James is a regular guy.
I'm very a regular guy.
And so I'm going to be bouncing a lot of these things off of him. Over the next week before he leaves, I'll be recording. I'll probably post up once a week leading up to the conference. This video, then of course 6 additional videos discussing each theme in detail, kind of giving my own thoughts and kind of giving his own thoughts. Now, of course, this will be long before the conference, so some of the questions or some of the things we arise may not be talked about at the conference, or maybe talked about in a very different light. So hopefully, through the magic of the internet, we might have some follow-up videos talking about the conference and what we thought. I'll obviously make things available for you.
I appreciate that, sir.
Well, certainly. And again, if you're interested in these topics, again, that's Seoul Cyber 2013. It's being sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. China, Japan, heck, Brazil, all sorts of countries are participating. U.S., of course. It's an international effort. It's a pretty big deal. And again, be part of the discussion. Please share your own thoughts. Please get the word out there. Again, visit the website. Some great resources, and be safe out there. Okay, and we'll see you sometime within the next week. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Cybersecurity.